So much of the age of imperialism was in service of getting access to the Chinese markets. The Spanish-American War, the Filipino War, expanding into Hawaii, all of this was trying to get into China. And the problem was the United States was late to the party. The Europeans had already carved China into what they had referred to as spheres of influence. And in these spheres of influence, the European countries and Japan had largely dominated the Chinese population there. Their laws applied to Europeans, not Chinese law. They controlled all the products, meaning they essentially had a monopoly on things sold in China. And if the United States wanted into China, they had no access point. They didn't have a sphere that would allow them into the Chinese markets. So because the United States didn't have a sphere, and the Europeans wouldn't let them into their sphere, the United States Secretary of State tried to call for what he referred to as an open door. He said they wanted an open door policy, meaning they wanted access to these Chinese markets without having a sphere of influence. Notice this has nothing to do with the Chinese population, has nothing to do with helping them out, has nothing to do with promoting Chinese values. It is completely selfish on the American part, wanting access to those markets that they had worked so hard for by going to war with Spain and in the Philippines. A lot of this changes because the Chinese had, they referred to, well, what the Europeans referred to as the Boxer Rebellion. The Boxer Rebellion was Chinese nationalists wanting to kick Europeans out, get rid of those spheres of influence, and try to ensure that Chinese people would be the ones that were in charge of China, kind of like a self-government thing. The Europeans, again, because they didn't care about the Chinese, they wanted access to the markets, helped Britain. And because they helped Britain, the United States gets access to the British sphere of influence. In other words, the open door policy.